In the last weeks of 2024, a mystery in the U.S. skies made the country's interest disappear, and in several other places around the world, for a question that still follows without an answer after a month. To understand everything, just stay with us until the end of the video. And to follow the updates of this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like, which helps a lot in our work. Let's go. The supposed drones that are intriguing and worrying citizens of all countries began to be seen on November 18th, according to official information from the Federal Administration of the United States Air Force, the largest transport agency in the government, responsible for regulating civilian aviation in all national territory. In that data, there were reports that non-tripled aircraft were flying over the Middle East from the base of military research of Picatinny Arsenal in the north region of the state of New Jersey. But quickly, what seemed to be an isolated phenomenon began to gain even greater proportions. On the days that followed, a wave of reports of the same type began to arrive to the local police, communicating records of large, illuminated objects and noise, flying over different places during the night. And according to the testimonies, these objects would not be much less helicopters. Initially, the warnings that began in the north of New Jersey spread to the central region, until other visa passes and arrive in other 5 states: New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Ohio. Until now, some people have already been arrested for involvement in drone operations in nearby areas restricted to the Massachusetts states, and also on the other side of the country, California. At the end of November, the American Air Force reported that these drones, not identified, were also seen on 3 American air bases in the United Kingdom. What is known is that the federal government of the United States has records of the country's post of about 792,000 drones, generic terms to design non-triple-use aircraft, commercial or recreational use, used in various sectors such as cinema, photography, agriculture, public security, and many others. But what no one has been able to explain so far is why the supposed increase of night flights, and especially who would be behind this movement that, in addition to approaching military installations, was also seen on a golf field of the president elected by the United States, Donald Trump. At the beginning of December, the FBI began to investigate the phenomena, but the lack of information and the repercussion of the case made the prefects of 21 cities of New Jersey send a letter asking for actions from the state government. In the document, the prefects of the Condado de Moores asked for a complete investigation about the origin and intentions behind these flights. In the request, they also say that the lack of clarity about the operation of these machines is causing frustration and fear in the local population. The police said they had not registered threats to public security, but the Federal Air Force imposed restrictions on the flight of drones while the authorities investigate the case. A spokesman from the FBI said that the agency is also making everything possible to clarify what is actually happening. Representatives of the federal agencies who are investigating the apparitions informed the authorities in meetings at closed doors that the supposed drones sometimes seem to fly in coordinated patterns with the ability to stay in the air for up to 6 hours. According to federal investigators' information over the local authorities, some of these drones measure about 1.80 meters in diameter. That is, they are much larger than the average of the models operated by amateur pilots. The problem is that investigations are difficult because it seems to be a joint behavior of the aircraft. The mysterious drones seem to avoid the detection of the authorities from helicopters and radios, since they usually deal with the lights off, which practically impossible to visualize. During the night, in a press conference in the Pentagon on December 11th, the voice of Sabrina Singh said that the related objects were not drones operated by the U.S. Armed Forces and that the officials also did not believe that the objects had come from military adversaries or foreign entities. Once again, the authorities and local residents demonstrated frustration with the few information passed down to the public by the federal forces. The following day, the FBI and the Department of Internal Security made a joint statement, affirming that there is no evidence that drone appearances threaten national security and reaffirming that they would not come from abroad. The clarification happened to deny the declaration of a deputy of the Republican Party called Jeff Van Drew. The politician had said that there were important anonymous sources, but without any proof that the drones would be coming from an Iranian ship that would be in the Atlantic waters on the east coast of the United States. Another politician, Democrat Raja Krishnamurti from Illinois, said to a channel that there is nothing possible that China can be involved and that it also has no proof. Even according to the Pentagon and the White House, both theories have no foundation, reiterating that there is no indication that activities have relations with governments or organizations from other countries. The only relationship with China in this story is only the nationality of one of the prisoners. So far, on December 9th, a Chinese citizen with legal permission to live in the United States was accused criminally after supposedly using a drone to film without authorization a space base during a SpaceX launch. But this happened on the other side of the country, in California, thousands of kilometers from New Jersey. The man identified as Impo Zhu was arrested at the International Airport in San Francisco and is about to board a flight to China. He was accused of not recording the drone and violating the National Air Defense Space. There are no indications that this episode is related to the wave of appearances in the country. In addition, 2 other people were arrested this time, yes, in the northeast region of the United States, very close to the entire geographical center of the controversy. But in this case, the 2 were Americans themselves. They were arrested on the night of December 14th, accused of invasion after a drone arrived dangerously close to the International Airport in Boston. According to the police, a 3rd member of the group fled, but the illegal activity tested in the prison of these suspects seems to be an isolated case when we look only at actions provenly out of the law. This is why, on this same day, the National Security Council's voice port said that federal investigators could not confirm the reports of the illegal drone passage by New Jersey, and that several of the aircraft recorded in videos are, in fact, common aircraft that operate within the law. The Department of Internal Security and FBI said that they have crossed information from the aircraft sightings with the plane's routes that were leaving or reaching 3 airports in the region and concluded that several of the related objects were, in fact, normal planes. The FBI reported that it received more than 5,000 reports and denunciations about the alleged drones, but that less than 100 really took the runway, in fact, useful for investigations, and that were not found evidence of an invasion or a movement in mass of non-trivial aircraft that would remind a scene from the movie War of the Worlds. A special agent from the institution said that many of the cases recorded can also be attributed to people who take advantage of the situation to lift their own drones and feed even more panic as events gain more and more repercussion and coverage of the press in a media cycle that is retro-aligned. According to federal investigators, there has been a disproportionate reaction by the population on these reports, which are very effective to feed conspiracy theories. However, they also said that it cannot be ignored by the real sightings and that the authorities are concerned with this as much as the rest of the population, and that, for this reason, installed cameras that capture the infrared spectrum with drone detection technology at strategic points to ensure that the drones that fly over the New Jersey area and New York do not have risks or concrete threats. The experts are also analyzing social media content to know what they show, photos and videos that supposedly recorded these flying objects to conclude if they really are non-trivial drones. And concern does not come only from the risks supposedly offered by drones, but also by the strays that the population itself could promote because of fear. This reception of a possible hunt for witches is justified also because there was an increase in the number of aircraft pilots and helicopters being reached by lasers in the eyes of people who confuse planes with drones. And this apparently harmless joke can cause serious accidents, such as the fall of the aircraft. For this reason, FBI and the New Jersey police called for people not to shoot at supposed drones, warning that these actions are illegal and may have deadly consequences for crew and passengers if the aircraft were seen as a joke. Even after that, the U.S. presidential election, Donald Trump accused the Biden government of hiding information about the case and defended that if the White House did not know anything, it should shoot at the aircraft. Contrary to the hysteria around the subject, the head of the Department of Internal Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, said that the rules for use of drones during the night were changed in September 2023, and that this is possibly one of the reasons why these objects are appearing so frequently. Even so, as the case still has more questions than answers, the White House National Security Voice said that the government will work and will continue to work hard to be as transparent and direct as possible in the solution of this case. It is clear that this story is still going on, is it not? Based on everything we have shown here, is it possible to make any conclusion? Do you also distrust that there is an international conspiracy behind all this, or do you believe that the explanation is simpler than it seems? Tell us in the comments, and also tell us if you want to continue following this novel here with us. If you are not going to ask too much, leave a like and also subscribe to the channel so that we can continue bringing more and better content to you. Thank you very much.